So today we are working a little bit more with the infinitive versus the preterite. And I will anticipate that it is a hard topic because it's difficult to grasp. And there's a lot of things that when we have to apply it, we kind of doubt, was it this, was it that? So let's get started. I am going to share my screen. And this is period 1. Yeah, I'm completely confused today because of the change of the schedule. So as you see, I moved for the same reason. I didn't realize that today, period 4 through or 5 through 7 can't do the quiz today. So I moved it to Monday. Do you see that I did that change?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's going to be the same words, but it's going to be moved to Monday. And then on Friday next week, we will have another one. I will post that on the Plus Portals calendar also, okay? Yes, Colin, can you hear me well?
Yes, I can.
Okay, perfect. All right, so we are going to go to this page on your, before going to your name, please click on this link on the daily lesson plans to get to the page from the content library. Let me know when you are there. Did you find it?
I found it, yeah.
Yeah. And Olivia, did you find it?
Yeah, the
Okay.
preterite and imperfect.
Yep, it's preterite and imperfect, and it says describing a situation. So the first thing that I want you to do is actually grab this last piece here that I didn't distribute to your page. So copy and paste on your page. Let me know when you are done with that. Oh, Casper is getting here.
All right, I did it.
Okay, thank you, Colin. Olivia also?
Yep.
Okay, let me see if I'm gonna stop sharing for a bit. Yeah, Casper is joining. Hi, Casper, are you there? Connecting to audio. Hello, Casper. Your mic is not working, right? But can you hear me well? I can barely see your forehead, so if you can go thumbs up, just chat. Okay, I can hear you. Okay, perfect. All right, awesome. So Casper, what we did is, I'm gonna share my screen again. So please go to Content Library and click on the page that is called Preterite and Imperfect Describing a Situation from the Content Library, because I need you to, you see the highlighted text that I did there? I need you to copy that on your page under your name, because I didn't distribute this part. So I need you to copy and paste on your own page in the bottom. And please let me know when you are ready, Casper, okay? Okay, thank you. All right. So we're talking today about the imperfect and the preterite when we use them combined, when to choose which. And this is the part that gets tricky. But the first thing that I want to remind people or refresh is, here it says right here, 3 instances we learned on the Gramactiva video from last week in which we always use imperfect tense when talking about the past. There were 3 examples, concrete examples. You remember which ones were they? Can you think of one? Can any of you think of one?
An event that like constantly
Yes.
happened in the past.
Constantly happened in the past, and we're going to start in the blurb with that. But a part of that is there's 3 like really concrete examples.
Oh, isn't it like time?
Yes, those are the ones. So when, and this is when it gets tricky, because when we talk about what time, and then I'm going to put /day /month /etc. But when we talk about what time, day, month, etc. is or was in the past. So exactly what time it was, what day it was, what month it was, or what year it was. Not, we have some examples in which time is not gonna be imperfect. But for now, let's think about it this way. When we talk about what time it was in the past. So it was April. It was 3 o'clock in the night, in the morning, that type of thing. Exactly what time it was. The next one, what was the next one? Who remembers a second one? Second example. One was time. What was the another one? If you can think of any, Casper, you can type it. Colin, can you remember any of the other 2?
I don't know.
Okay. Casper, you tell me if you're typing, because I can't see if you're typing or not. What used to do. Yes. This is like the general. This is that like general explanation. What used to do. What time was, or what time used to be. But the specific, one of the specific was weather. When we talk about what was the weather like in the past. So it
does that go? Does that go with like describing the situation?
Exactly. That is part of describing the background, what was going on, right? So it was, the weather was like that, the time was this time, right? So it still goes back to description of the past. What was the scene, sort of thing. Okay, and the last one is, anybody? Time, weather, and if you saw the video?
Was it the feeling?
Feelings,
like,
yes. When we talk about emotions / feelings in the past. Again, if you think about it, it's still describing what was going on in the past. How was someone feeling, right? Okay. So hopefully you're typing this on your own page. Yes, you're doing it? Yeah, Colin?
Yeah.
Okay, and you're typing on your own page what I'm typing here? Like taking
Yes.
the notes?
Yeah.
Yes? Okay, great. Just making sure. Okay, so move this here. This is what we are starting today. So take a look at what it says. In the first part, we find what Olivia and also Casper said in the chat, what used to do, what used to be. So it says preterite and imperfect describing a situation. So in addition to saying what someone used to do, the imperfect tense is used for 1, 2, 3. Let's read number 1. Olivia, can you read number 1?
To describe people, places, and situations in the past.
Correct. Again, we go with the description thing. Can you read the example, Olivia?
Yeah. La casa de mis abuelos era enorme. Tenía 5 dormitorios.
So take a look at the verbs. We have 2 verbs, era and tenía. What tense are they in, Colin? Era and tenía. What is the tense that they're using?
Imperfect?
It is imperfect. Why are they using imperfect? Because, Casper, can you type what is the meaning of that sentence, you think? La casa de mis abuelos, so it's the yellow highlighted. Era enorme, tenía 5 dormitorios. My grandparents' house was huge and it had 5 rooms. Correct. Description of the house, right? Literally describing how the house was, what the house looked like in the past. Okay, what's number 2? Colin, can you read number 2?
The Spanish part?
The definition, so the English.
Oh, the English. To talk about a past action or situation when no beginning or end is specified.
No beginning or end is specified. So this, think about it as something that was going on in the past, but it doesn't say anything about when it started or if it ended or not. There's no time frame. They're not talking about any time frame whatsoever. Let's read the example. Can you read the example, Colin? The yellow example there?
Okay, yeah. Había mucha gente
Gente, gente.
en la casa para el aniversario.
So, look at the verb. We have the verb había. That verb, I know is tricky. We tend to forget about it all the time. I don't know what it is with this verb, but we forget it. This is the verb haber, which is the one that says, who remembers? We use it for what? It's okay if you don't remember because everybody forgets. I don't know what it is.
Isn't it like to have?
That's tener.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, everybody, I don't know why, but it is confused by to have a lot. So haber is the one that we conjugate only one way, that we say hay 5 estudiantes. Hay un libro. So what is
there
that?
is, there are.
There is, there are. See, there is, there are. But then,
I've gotten used to it as I.
Yes, because we use it very often in the present tense, right? There is, there are. Hay mucha gente, hay mucho ruido, hay muchas mesas, right? There is, there are. But when you are talking about the past, this verb commonly will be used in the imperfect. Había. So there was. Are you with me there? There was or there were. So who can translate that sentence? Olivia, do you think you can translate that one? Gente means people.
So there was a lot of people in the house for the anniversary.
For the anniversary. So again, description. But this one has the specific fact of not telling you exactly when this happened. We don't know when it started and when it ended. Maybe there's still a lot of people in this house. See, you following?
Yeah.
All right. Number 3, can you read the definition, please, Olivia?
To describe the situation or background information when something else happened or interrupted the ongoing action.
Okay, again, we have the common topic, repeated theme of describing the situation or background. But then we say when something else happened or interrupted the ongoing action. So here is one sentence in which we actually have the combination of the two tenses. So I am going to circle one verb and I'm going to circle the next verb. So Casper, tell me if these two verbs are conjugated in the same tense. They aren't. That is correct. They're not in the same tense. Colin, can you think which one of these is the imperfect?
Which one's imperfect?
Mhm.
Is it by Laban?
Yes. So one of the endings on the imperfect is aba for the AR verbs, and then ia for the ER and IR. So the aba ending is the imperfect. So here I have the verb in the imperfect. And see how this guy is translated into were dancing. Bailaban, they were dancing. So Colin, do you think this is something that happened one time, or this is something that was happening in the past?
Was happening in the past.
Yes, this was something that was happening in the past. That's why we are using the imperfect. This was like a process. It doesn't say when it started even, right? But then look what happens. We have this little connector, cuando. That means when. It's not the question how, but it's sorry, it's not the question when, but it is the, I forget the noun. Is it a pronoun? No, it's not a pronoun. We can call it connector, preposition. It is the preposition, not the question. So the preposition, when this was going on, or when are you going to go hiking? That's the question. And then you say, I'm going to go hiking when the weather is good. That when the weather is good is the actual preposition and not the question, right? Are you following? How do we know in Spanish? Because we don't have an accent on that one. So this one is saying, all my relatives were dancing when something happened. So what is the tense for llegamos, Casper? What is llegamos tense used there? What is that tense? It is the preterite. So it's actually saying when we arrived, right? So the one-time thing is that we arrived. What was going on? They were dancing. The one-time thing that interrupted, kind of interrupted, was that we arrived. Are you following?
What if you were like left and arrived multiple times?
Well, you could say llegamos, and then you might even put the time. Llegamos tarde. And then we left early in the morning. So, cuando llegamos y luego nos fuimos en la mañana. So it's still one time thing, and then there's a next time thing that is that we left. We arrived.
So they would
and we
both
left.
be preterite?
Both would be in the preterite. Because both are things that happen one time. And both are things that will be interrupting something that was going on. It could be that they were dancing still, right? Because that we're dancing, we don't know if it ended. It's a continuum, right? It's something that was happening. It has not ended. And at least they have not told us. So this can be something that was going on, and a lot of little things could be interrupting it. Arriving, leaving, someone calling, right? Or a TV show that started, see? So, llegamos, nos fuimos, empezó. So things that are interrupting that going on thing. Questions or comments? Okay, so we are gonna now watch our tutorial. And here's one thing that I want to show you. These two are links to the endings of the imperfect and the preterite in case you forget, because we're going to work on a activity done there, so you can click on those if you forgot the conjugations. But let's watch the tutorial first. So I'm going to click there and now share my other screen.
Two past tenses.
Are you able
The
to see the
preterite
screen?
for completed actions
The tutorial?
and the imperfect for actions that were in progress, ongoing, or repeated. The preterite, like the English simple past, expresses perfective aspect. The imperfect, like the English phrases was plus ing and used to, expresses imperfective aspect.
So it doesn't matter if we don't know, we probably don't know what's perfective and imperfective. Just try to link it with simple past in English, which is walked, ran, wrote, ate. See, that's the simple past versus the ing. So was and then an ing and they used to. That's imperfect in English. Are you following? Yeah. Okay, so corría y escuchaba. Colin, is that the imperfect or the preterite? Corría y escuchaba.
Imperfect.
That's imperfect, yes. Was running.
The preterite is used to refer to any past action that is considered complete. In this example, yesterday is complete.
Okay, so here is the tricky part. But how come they're talking about weather? They said that weather wasn't imperfect, but this is the preterite. Anybody can think of that?
Isn't that because like the weather is used to describe like the situation or like what happened in the past, and this is just talking about the weather period?
Correct. So when you talk about what was the weather like at that specific moment in the past, that will be imperfect. But in this case, they're saying that this happened last night. So we have this little word. I don't know if we can you see my cursor when I put it there?
Yeah.
So anoche, last night. That makes it something that they're saying that this happened, started in the night. And then they're saying, but today is sunny. So they're saying,
Today is not.
Today is not, right? See? So, llovió last night, rained, but now there's sun. So the rain is already over. See? You see the difference?
Yeah, because you wouldn't use it was raining last night unless something else happened.
Exactly. When you want to set the background that it was raining and something happened, then you're going to use imperfect. But in this case, they're referring to something that already ended, which in this case is the weather, but it already ended. See, any questions or comments?
The imperfect is used to provide the background information or set the stage for other actions. It describes people and tells time in the past.
Take a look. Now they're using the weather in the perfect. Why do you think that is? Well, they're saying it's setting the stage, right? So describing that moment in the past. It was raining, and then we have the cuando here. This cuando is very often used when you have the imperfect, and then after that you will have the preterite, because it was raining. This is the background. It was raining when I arrived. So this arrived is the preterite, because again, this is the one-time thing that I arrived when it was raining. How is that sounding? Making sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. How about Colin and Casper?
Yeah.
Okay. And Casper, comments, questions? No. Okay. Perfecto. So in this case, what's going on? It says here, describes the person. So this person was tired. And the background is that he wanted to eat. He was hungry. It's also describing the person, right? What was going on when he was tired. See? All right. Okay. So let's go back to our OneNote. And now we are going to work on the activity. And what I want to do is I want to give so I'm going to give the first 3 to Colin. Then I'm going to give the second to Olivia, and Casper, the third group there. And for that, remember, I have a link there that shows endings of the preterite and imperfect in case you forget. And your blurb or your paragraph is that one. So also tell me if you have words that you don't understand in the paragraph. And I'm highlighting the verbs that you need to decide if they are going to be in the imperfect or in the preterite.
So I have 4 and 5.
Yes.
Right.
Okay, Olivia, 4 and 5. Colin, I gave you the first 3, right?
Yes.
And then Casper, 6, 7, 8.
There means to see, right?
There is to see, yes.
Okay.
Do you need more time? Tell me, or you're done.
I think I'm done. I don't know if they're correct though.
Oh, no worries. That's what we're here for, right? If we knew everything, then we wouldn't need the class, right? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Olivia, you're ready? Not yet?
Yeah.
No worries. Casper, you are ready? Okay. Give it 1 or 2 more minutes. All right, let's start. So I'm going to read, and when we get to the blank, okay, perfecto. Gracias, Casper. So I'm gonna go with number 1. So acabo de pasar unos días increíbles. Mi familia española.
Decía iba.
Okay, so we're gonna say, first of all, familia, we're gonna treat it as singular, even if it's more than one, even if more than one member in the family, the noun is considered a singular noun. And also, tell me, Colin, if decidir, when are they doing this like in a period of time to travel or to
No.
go? So what would be the tense that tells you that it's a one-time event?
Preterite.
Preterite. So deci,
Decio. I know.
almost.
That's AR. Decio.
Decidio, right?
Yeah. Okay.
Let me write it right next to here. So decidir is a verb. And so you are dropping IR. So you are left with this decid. And then for the el, ella, the ending is IO. See?
Mm-hmm.
Can
Muy
we
bien.
write what if it's preterite or imperfect?
You don't have to write it. No. It could be a good
Okay.
idea, actually, but let's write it. Yeah. Preterite. The next practice that we're going to do, I am going to give you like a cheat sheet that is hopefully helpful, like the estar and ser that we say, the doctor, that one has an acronym, right? This one has like the facts, which one goes with imperfect and which one. So some reasons. And so the next time we read that, and then we practice and we are going to give what's the reason. Yeah, and so that is also going to be helpful, I think. All right. So, decidió ir a Sevilla para celebrar la Semana Santa. Nosotros, this one gets tricky.
Is it llegamos?
It is llegamos. Can you explain why? Good job.
De nosotros.
That's the conjugation for the nosotros. But you use preterite. Why did you use preterite?
I honestly just took a guess.
Oh, okay. Well, it was a good guess. So it's saying we arrived on Tuesday night. Now here's when it gets tricky because it's talking about time, right? Why do we not use imperfect in this case?
I don't know.
Yeah, it's okay. Casper, if you can explain to me also, or Olivia, why do you think number 2, even if it talks about time or it has the time in it, we don't use imperfect?
It still happened in like the past, and it isn't like setting anything up, and it's just like it was a one-time thing, right?
A one-time thing. We arrived, and we arrived this day at this time. See? So we know when it started, when it happened exactly, right? Okay. Hopefully it is making sense. I know it gets super tricky. Then por la noche, y las calles ya blanc, llenas de personas. Ya means already. What did you get, Colin?
I got estaron.
Estaron. Okay, so remember our conjugations. So what tense are you trying to conjugate?
Preterite.
Preterite. Yeah. So that will be estuve. Estar estuve, see?
Okay.
Yeah.
Forgot.
Now, are we going to use the preterite? Take a look at what it says. Can you explain to me the idea of that sentence? Maybe not translate directly, but the idea, what are they doing in the sentence?
I don't really know.
So calles, what's calles? Calles is streets. So here's really something really important for everybody. To do this, in order to do this, to decide, for example, which tense are you going to use, we need to really understand what it is
Use the
saying.
time thing because the three things we put at the bottom,
Okay,
right? So it's imperfect.
it is imperfect.
Okay.
Yes, it's saying that the streets were already full of people. So
Okay.
that is describing what the streets look like in the past. See? Okay, so now I'm going to put here estar is your verb. And we decided that we are going to use imperfect. So let's drop the ending. You're left with est. And what's your ending for calles, which is ellas or las? Let me go back to the imperfect here. So ER and IR, is that estar?
No.
No. So let's go to an AR. What would be the ending for las calles? So it's ellas.
Estaba.
Uh-huh. Does it have an N?
Yeah.
Because here is ellas, right?
Yeah.
And what's here? This one without the N, what's here?
That's just a L and
L and ella, right? So because it's more than one, we are going to add the N. Okay, let me, where is that? And then we're going to go for A again. So what is it then?
It would be estuvieban. I don't. Wait, I thought you. Oh, okay, estaban.
Yes, estaban. Good job, estaban. All right, good job. Thank you, Colin. Let me just delete this thing here. Okay, Olivia, so now we have en la procesión,
Zio.
and who's watching?
He, I think.
And it is, I think, nosotros, because they're saying mi familia y yo, right? Let me see. No, I forget. Yes, see how it's saying nosotros arrived, and the streets were already full, and desfile is parade of the Easter week was in a procession, and the procession we saw.
So it would be vimos.
Yes.
And it's in the preterite.
It's in the preterite because?
Oh, because it happened one time in the past.
Right. So it's talking about the procession, but they're not describing the procession. They're actually talking about something that they did in the procession. So they saw, they watched. This one is imperfect. Okay, good job. Now, pasos muy grandes con flores y estatuas enormes que se llaman imágenes de las iglesias. Las imágenes.
I said fueron.
Yeah, why? So you're using preterite.
Yeah, because I'm thinking that they looked at the images once and there's multiple images. So they saw, or if it's still talking about nosotros, it would be fuimos, but
it's you're thinking to go, but this is to be. And so we have the images. What are they talking about? They're talking about the images.
So like their old photos, their antique photos.
They were, exactly. So is that describing or is that talking about one-time event?
Oh, it's describing.
Describing, right?
So
yes.
it would be eran.
Eran, yes. So we are using imperfect. And the reason is because they're described. We're not going to put the reason today, but the next time we work on this, we are going to have the reason. Okay, so good job. Now Casper says, let me see here. Había bandas y otras personas que tocaban música durante las procesiones. Y luego ocurrió algo fantástico. Una mujer blank to a balcony. So salir is to lead. Yeah? Salir is to lead. Casper, this happened one time. If it's one time, you give me one. And if it's more than one, give me like more. One time, right? What happens when something happened one time? Are you going to use imperfect or preterite? Preterite. So do you need to fix number 6? Yes, good job. So how is it going to be then? Yes, salió. Casper, I love that you have your Spanish keyboard and you're using it in the chat. That's amazing. So this is the preterite. Okay, muy bien. Why is it the preterite? Because it's saying that this woman stood out on the balcony one time, right? This is what happened one time. She stood out. She went to the balcony one time, an action that she did once. So, salió a un balcón y, and then you put empezó, that's right. And it's for the same reason, because she's doing this action one time. Each of them, it's more than one action, but it's one time each of them. So it's pretérito. Preterite. Okay, número 8. You say, hold on, can't see quite well. Oh, the chat window doesn't really behave. I think the next might also be preterite now that I think about it. Let me see. Yes, it is also preterite. It's the same reason, right? Right? It's a third action. Llegó. Right, el paso. So that's the one thing, one object, which is the procession or the people who actually it is the float. Okay, so llegó a la entrada, one time thing. Okay, I know it gets tricky, guys. Don't get discouraged. We are gonna continue, definitely. We need more practice. And I'm gonna tell you that we're gonna probably next year when you start, this is one of the things they're gonna review because it's really difficult to practice this online and with such short time that we have each week. Yeah, so have it in mind, try to understand it, and we need more practice, definitely. Okay, so that is it for today. We do have homework that it is due Monday, and the quiz is also moved to Monday. So take a look at your homework. Can you look into your Tarea tab? It's charts using the vocab verbs. So if you go to your Tarea, this is what you have. You have the charts here. Is that what you see? Yes?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so here is conjugations in the present tense, then the preterite, and then the imperfect. Let's do together the first one. So the links here, again, these 3 are the tenses, and this is the vocab list, that link. So let's go to the vocab list and see what is coleccionar. I'm going to click it. Tell me if you see what coleccionar means. Colin, can you see coleccionar? What's the meaning?
I can, yeah.
So what is the meaning of coleccionar?
To collect.
To collect. So let's go back to the tarea page and we're going to say to collect. Okay, so now we need the present tense of coleccionar. I'm going to click on the link. Here we have the present tense of coleccionar. So let's go back and.
It's so different seeing present tense now.
Right? I know. So colecciono. Olivia, I'm going to give you the next one. Calling el ella form. Casper, you're going to do nosotros, and then we're going to do together vosotros and ellos. So
Wait,
Olivia,
which one
what's
am I doing?
you're doing el ella. I can't hear you. The sound is kind of.
Coleccionas.
Sí, coleccionas. Bien. What did you get for this one, Colin?
Coleccionar.
Sí, colecciona. And what did you get for this one? I see Casper is coleccionamos with one L. This one is coleccionáis. Oops. Coleccionáis and coleccionan. Okay, so I'm going to give Colin the preterite for coleccionar. Give me just these three.
Okay.
And Olivia, you're going to give me these three on the right-hand side. And Casper, can you type all the conjugations for the imperfect on coleccionar? Okay. So Colin, you have the first one.
Do you want them right now?
Oh, I can wait if you need more time. Yeah.
I mean, I can do it.
Yeah, tell me.
Coleccioné.
Bien. What's the next one?
Coleccionaste.
Muy bien. The
And
next one.
then colecciono.
Bien. Olivia, what's the nosotros?
Coleccionamos.
Mm-hmm. Oh. Ay, ay, ay. Coleccionamos. Do you remember this one?
I thought it was coleccionar.
So it's coleccionasteis.
Oh.
Yeah, that's your extra credit.
I knew there had to be an I, but
Coleccionasteis. That's fine. And then what's the ellos form?
coleccionaron.
Sí, coleccionaron. Bien. Casper says coleccionaba. Remember, it's one L, okay? And you did one L, yes. But not on the last two. Coleccionaba, it's okay. Coleccionabas, yes. Ay, ay, ay. Coleccionaba. Good job, your accents, Casper. Coleccionábamos. Coleccionabais. Your accents are perfect. I love it. And coleccionaban. You got it. Okay, so that's the next thing. And you have until Monday. So you want to do maybe 2 or 3 each day, because it's kind of quite a few. So don't do it at the last minute, so you can actually use it for learning. Yes? How are we doing? You get what we need to do? See? All right, let me stop the sharing. And tell me if you have any questions, comments. So for the final, I am still thinking we are going to do it on the final week, but it's not a final per se. It's going to be a project, and I'm still thinking what type of project. I want to do it as an oral, so I would like to have people be in the Zoom call. So I'm going to think what I'm going to do, and then I'm going to let you know next week, okay? All
Sounds
right.
good.
Awesome. Good to see everybody. I'll see you next week. Keep up the good work. Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Thank
Adios.
you.
Bye.
Bye.